If there's one thing that I think everyone who recently picked up Street Fighter 6 as their first Street Fighter game can agree on, it's that this game is hard. And although I'm not the highest rank in the game, I do think there's things that I can offer newer players and or lower level players in order to help their ranked climb or just in casual matches with friends. So let's get right into the video of 5 tips that will help you improve in Street Fighter 6. Alright, so for the first tip that I have for newer players or anybody who just doesn't really realize it, I think a really good tool is to find out which button is your best poke. So for Cammy, that's going to be this button right here. It reaches a little bit farther than her crouching medium kick, so you'll be able to poke people from pretty far away with this. Obviously, her actual best poke tool is stand heavy kick, but that move is a little bit more unsafe, and stand medium kick is quite safe. This isn't a Cammy video. This is just, you want to find your best poking normal, and you want to just use that. I mean, this is the whole tip. This is tip number 1. Don't be poking with your jabs and stuff. I mean, jabs and neutral are not bad, but that's not really the point. If I'm right here, why am I hitting this button? I can hit this button, right? Like, it covers a lot more space. It controls where Lily wants to go, controls if she wants to hit a button or not. And this is not going to do much. This will get counter hit. This will get, I mean, it's not going to get anything done. It's not really controlling space. It's not an active enough hitbox to do that. But yeah, so tip number 1 is find that poking normal. And regardless of what character you play, I mean, you can play fucking E Honda, and he's going to have a normal that is longer than his other normals that you're going to want to poke with. So that's the tip. Find your poking normal. Alright, so tip number 2 is if your opponent is teching a lot, like say you go up, you try to tick throw them, they're teching, you know, I mean, you kind of can't break through their defenses. Like, it's starting to get on your nerves. You need to shimmy. So what shimmying is essentially, it's when you walk forward and essentially fake your opponent into thinking you're going to grab, but then you walk back outside of the grab range. So I'll show you here on the Lilybot. It doesn't have to be a very big shimmy like you saw there. Like, grab comes up pretty fast in this game, so you just walk towards them. And obviously this works more if you've been tick throwing a lot, because they're going to be expecting that grab, right? So it also works to just punish it that way. You know, go into a full combo, for instance, just, you know, something like that. Shimmies are going to be more effective. Like, say, okay, for instance, I'm as close as I can get to Lily right here. You see how I can't really walk away? I'll get grabbed every single time if I hold forward right there. So if you're right here, look at that. You've been tricking them into tick throwing, and now you get a full combo. Yeah. So that's the second tip. Just try to pay attention to if your opponent is teching a lot and try to abuse that. Getting into tip number 3 here, it does kind of go hand in hand with tip number 1. So that's going to be, sometimes if you notice your opponent is using a lot of drive impact, or if they tend to just do it when you're you know, pressuring them in the corner or something like that, you're going to want to mostly poke out in the corner with your cancelable longest normal. So Cammy, she cannot cancel into this. You can see I'm hitting drive impact. I'll do it again just so you can see. Hitting drive impact a million times, you can't cancel into it. So for Cammy, it's going to be her crouching medium kick, right? So that goes the farthest that she has and is also cancelable. So yeah, this one's pretty simple. If you notice someone's drive impacting a lot, you don't really have to learn any special ways to deal with it. You just use your cancelable normal, and then you should be able to easily react to it. It's not a very short startup. It takes kind of a while for it to come out. That's tip number 3. Just try to keep an eye on if people are drive impacting a lot, and use your cancelable normals more often in pressure if they are. Alright, tip number 4 is going to be a little bit of a weird one, and honestly, I'm not super sure where I stand on how worth it is. But I'll try to explain what I mean by this. So in this game, you can get perfect parries on moves, but as you'll see here, I'm kind of dumping a lot into her after this perfect parry, and it doesn't have to be on a drive impact, it can be on anything. But I dumped a lot of resources into her, and it didn't do nearly as much damage as, say, if I, you know, reacted to it with a drive impact. I really feel like no reason. I feel like parries should give more of a reward, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't make the game. The most I'll say about parries is just try not to use too many resources if it's not going to get you the round win. after you get a successful perfect parry. Alright, so for the last tip, it is going to be to find your anti-air button. No matter what character you play, they're going to have a button that they can anti-air with. For Cammy, I like to use back medium fist, but she has some other options. Not everyone's anti-air, or their go-to anti-air rather, is going to be as cut and dry as back medium fist or DP, mostly for Ryu and Ken, because Cammy's DP kind of, as you can see, not really the best. It's definitely not bad to anti-air, but it's not as good as Ryu and Ken because of the angle. The button I like to anti-air the most with Cammy is standing heavy kick, right? So it distorts her hitbox and puts her pretty close to the ground, as you can see here. And it has a pretty good upwards hitbox. And I'm sure your character has some buttons that you wouldn't expect to want to anti-air with, but I'm sure that it has a hitbox that would surprise you. So what did you guys think? I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. I know it was more for beginners and people who are looking to climb out of the lower ranks, but I think it's tips that can be helpful for pretty much any level of play, where obviously higher levels of play will already implement most of it. But regardless, although it was not groundbreaking, I hope it was helpful to you. And if it was helpful to you, I would appreciate it if you left a like and maybe subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I do a lot of videos on my ranked climb with Cammy. Currently I'm in Platinum 1, and my goal is to get to Diamond. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.